To the spouse that's in rebellion, know that this message comes with grace and compassion. It's so interesting. There is a dove and a crow flying together. I've never seen that in my life. Excuse me. I want to say to you that a spirit of rebellion shows up when the heart's sick. Okay? When there's so much pain, so much betrayal, so much disappointment and frustration, sadness, that the enemy finds an entry point, you become in alignment with lies about yourself and your marriage. And that looks like, I will always be unhappy here, or they will never love me, I don't like myself, or I can never come into purpose here. I'm so miserable and things will never change. It produces these ideas and feelings about things that could be temporary, makes it long term, so that you fall into a state of victimhood. That's not biblical. It's not biblical for us to be in victimhood because we're not victims. We make choices. Rather, those choices come from trauma, or we feel like we're being controlled. We create this story that my life is this way because of you, when really we have a lot more autonomy than we think. We can make different decisions, and God can shift your marriage if you let him into it. A lot of you have tried to control your marriage by being codependent, by doing too much to hopefully earn the love of your spouse, by self-sacrificing and neglecting yourself, by idolizing your spouse. So you do all these things, you become a martyr for marriage. So of course you're unhappy. Of course you're unhappy because you're not a helpmate. You are self-sacrificial, and God didn't call you to be that way. If you have a spouse who is unmoved by you, now there's these feelings of rejection. So you have all these negative feelings that have built up. That is the entry point for the enemy to, forget it, I'm done. I know how this feels because I've done it. And it didn't fix anything. Matter of fact, after having a period of rebellion, my husband and I are reconciling after separation. We still had to work through our issues because God will bring you back to the same cycle, but you have to handle things differently. If you're acting out in rebellion because you feel validated by your maltreatment, you're only hurting yourself. You are hurting yourself. You are telling yourself lies. Because it seems easier to be alone doesn't mean that it was God's will for you to leave. And that is when you really have to get with the Lord and ask, is this over? Or did I make a decision out of my pain, out of my heart being sick? Our heart posture can prolong our issues. And so sometimes we think that codependency looks like love and looks like hard work. We become angry at our spouses for not doing the same things that we're doing, when really we're out of line too. We're not operating in God's design either. So both of you are actually not in God's design for marriage. I just think that typically as women, we fall into a dynamic when we want something to work. And for men who are in rebellion, they generally feel disrespected and unseen or unappreciated. So they seek to get their needs met outside of their marriage. What ends up happening is that those things become empty. Or they've come into alignment with lies. They just can't do marriage. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the patience or the freedom. When really, statistically, men do better in marriage. The enemy wants to tell lies that women will just be drained in marriage, that men do better, and that marriage is just this thing that you can get in and out of, when really it's a covenant for a reason. Because if you follow the principles of marriage, you become edified and you grow together in it. It's very powerful. There are things that you can accomplish in that union that you would not be able to out of that union. If you find yourself refusing to follow God's design and you know it, then we have to address that spirit of rebellion before it takes over, because that can kill a marriage. Refusing to show up in the way that God has instructed you to when times are hard shows you that your heart's sick, that you need healing, that you and your partner are exhausted. This is when God could come in and heal those deeper parts of you that may have nothing to do with your marriage. It may have to do with your attachment, or may have to do with the past trauma that makes it hard for you to show up. A lot of the time, one of you or both of you are depressed because it's a hard season. So we take those seasons and we believe it's going to be the whole thing. Now, some of you have been waiting a long time and you're tired. You've been waiting a long time for things to change. You've been praying and asking God to change this person. What if God needs to change you?